Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, in the previous lecture we had started with chapter number 17, where we dealt with the different types of questions that are asked for the purpose of doing the revision work. So we continue with that. Those who might have missed or starting fresh, we have this particular chapter has a total of 6 allotted for in the board paper. That means without options 6 marks will be asked from this chapter. So it means that 2 questions of 3 marks will be found in section C, where if you have thoroughly prepared this chapter, both the questions you can answer. Earlier in the previous year, only one 4-mark question was asked in the section D, right? So we students have an or over there, so that this question or this question, both of them will be from the same chapter, right? So we did not have much option over there. We either had to write the A option or the B option from chapter number 17. Now this year it has changed a little bit, that in the same section without any or you have a list of questions and you can attempt any. So if there are 7 questions, 5 questions out of that. So 6 questions are there, 9 questions will be asked. So what happens is 3 6 are 18 marks are there, right? So instead of giving you 6 questions, 9 questions will be given without option. That means 6 marks will be asked, 3 questions compulsory, or it can be 2 questions, 1 question of 3 marks, 1 question of 2 marks, and 1 objective. That way also we have to be prepared. Yes. Next, that is without option. With option it will be 9 marks. With option 9 marks. That means in section C there will be 2 questions of 3 marks. So 3 2s are 6 plus 2 mark 1 question and 1 mark 1 question objectives, right? So we are clear with that. Now it can be without option. That means 2 mark 3 mark 2 mark 3 questions, 3 mark 2 questions will be asked. 3 2s are 6 without any option. You don't have any other option over there, right? 9 with option, that means you can have 2 over there in the 3 marks, that is section C, 1 question in 2 marks, right? With option, with some another option, and 1 mark objective you will have. So with option you will have 9 marks, right? It doesn't mean that with option you have 3 questions of 3 marks in section C, right? So what will the other chapters do, right? So don't get confused with this. As we have done the first section of the chapter, that is poverty, dealt with the economic problems and challenges of India. One of that is poverty, another one is unemployment. We have already done with poverty. Now let us resume with unemployment. Now here also, now we should be prepared, that is poverty or whether that is unemployment, it is in chapter number 17. So we should be prepared with 3 mark question, 2 mark question, and 1 mark question. Now although quite lengthy 4 mark questions are to be avoided, but at the same time we should see that if 2 schemes over there can be clubbed, or 2 points over there can be clubbed and made a 3 mark question, then we will be in a fix, because we didn't prepare that properly, right? So we got to read them, but we got to memorize all the questions that are of the 3 marks length, that is at least having 9 points, 8 to 9 points, and can go up to 11 or 12 points. Then we should be preparing those questions thoroughly, because we know 1 question of 3 mark is going to be asked. If 2 questions of 3 marks are asked, then it's very beautiful, because we are already done with that, and we can easily score 6 marks out of the C section, right, from this chapter. Now, meaning of poverty: person whose age is 15 to 60 years, who is to work. These are the conditions, right, prevalent in the prevalent market rate of wages, has search of work but is not getting work. So first thing is we got to define the meaning of unemployment. That means a person who is from age of 15 to 60 who is ready to work at the prevalent market rates of wages, who has energy and is willing to do work, but he has qualification of work also, who is in search of work but not getting work. Such a person can be called an unemployed person. When that same condition prevails over a large group, then it is called unemployment. Otherwise that person is unemployed and the situation prevalent in quite a large group, then that's called unemployment. Now since such unemployment is faced by these people compulsorily, that is called unemployment against wish. On the other hand, people who demand, now who cannot be called. So when we are defining who is an unemployed person, we have to define both. So this makes this answer quite a lengthy one, because we are explaining the definition of an unemployed person, who can be called an unemployed person, what is unemployment, who cannot be called an unemployed person, right? So this quite a large question answer. On the other hand, people who demand wages more than the prevalent market rates, or who are in the age group of 15 to 60, or who are handicapped, weak, sick, old, lazy, housewife, or those who are not willing to work in spite of that work is available over there, then they cannot be called unemployed. So three things we are covering over here. Now types of unemployment seen in Indian, if we are going to say just list it, then we know seasonal unemployment, yes, industrial unemployment, there are 5-6. So if you are asked to make a list, you just have to note down the main types of unemployment are seasonal unemployment, right? Then frictional unemployment. That way just list down A, B, C, D, right? That is a 2-mark question. But if you are asked to write all of them, right? Write or describe the type of unemployment seen in Indian economy, then it's quite a long answer, then it's a 3-mark answer. If 2 of these options are clubbed together, then it will be a 2-mark question. So seasonal unemployment is 2-mark question. Yes, if it is clubbed with something else. So seasonal unemployment, the definition is given over here. Some example is given over here, 2 points, okay. Then frictional unemployment, seasonal plus frictional, both put together will be 2 marks, because they will be making a 4 point, right? So 4 points, you get 2 marks. If you are asked to explain all of them, then that is a complete 3-mark question. Frictional unemployment, yes, technology is introduced in place of new machines are replaced, then people have to temporarily, they have to be out of work. That is called frictional unemployment. Labor that remains unemployed for a structural employment, sorry, unemployment. The social structure that we have, it's backward and orthodox, social backwardness, traditional orthodox. This is quite a lengthy one, right? So 2 mark again if social or disguised is put together. So we have 6-7 of them. Yes, any 2 can be asked, then that will be 2 marks, or if you have to write the complete all of them, then it is 3 marks. Disguised unemployment, yes, all the 5 people in the family working in the field, but all of them do not get the salary, and the profit is not shared equally among all of them, but all the 5 are working. That is disguised. Yes, if 2 are taken out and they go and work somewhere, they can get additional income, and there is no loss in the farm, because farm will be producing only that much. If 5 people are working or 3 people, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't increase the production if 5 people are working, right? So that is called disguised. You got to explain it. Industrial unemployment, if for a short term, yes, because it can be changes taking in the industrial sector, such as a situation is called unemployment, right? Then educational unemployment, you are educated but you are searching work, but employment is not available according to your qualification, experience, etc. That is called educated unemployment. Lots of that, right? Now year wise unemployment rate of India and condition of unemployment. This question cannot be asked because it is a statistical question where a lot of statistics is there. Yes, but you just got to remember the numbers because it can be helpful for objectives, right? So 2019 2009-10 34% per 1,000% were unemployed. In urban, same way. In rural, 16% of the 1,000% were unemployed. Rate of uneducated employment more in urban, that can be seen. Then here again we have numbers. Yes, 32 million people were uneducated, 4.70 crore people in the age group of 15 to 24 were unemployed. Where we have numbers, we got to be cautious, and there should be it should be kept in the mind that if there are numbers, it can certainly be asked for, say MCQs, where it is given 32 million, 34 million, 36 million, 38 million, and you got to choose the correct option, right? So automatically it should strike you at that point, if we are while reading, that this is a very long answer, it cannot be asked, or it's a very short answer, it cannot be asked. But at the same time, objectives can be generated from it. 2013-14, again this is Kerala, West Bengal. No, that is just statistics. Yes, so statistical questions are not asked because all the students may not be able to justify it, yes, or give proper answers. Now this is a very good question and very easy question also, and it's quite a simple question. Yes, just give the reasons for unemployment in India, but lots of points are there. So according to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are there any more points? Yes, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So this is a 3-mark question, and it can, because half line answers are there: increase in population, possessing only bookish knowledge, lack of practical knowledge. So you can easily memorize this and you can get complete 3 marks out of this. Yes, because reasons for unemployment in India, you should be well aware of why. Lots of points are there. When 3 marks are given, right, and the length of the points is, say, 15 points, then you need not write all the 15 points. For example, in this particular answer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are here. No, this is another question. Sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points are there. Right now we just need to write 9 to 10 points. Here 13 points are there. So you tick mark and mark those points which you are going to finally memorize, and as soon as you look at the question, you write those 9 points, right? So that we get complete full 9 marks, 3 marks. So even if it has 12 points, then also you can reduce by not writing few points which are not that much necessary. Now poverty and unemployment are 2 sides of the same coin. This is give reason, explain the statement, so it can come in 2 marks compulsory. Unemployment proves deadly for individual, family as well as economy. We got to prove the statement. Right now, depending upon the length, 1, 2, 3 points are there, 4, 5, 6 points are there, 7 points are there. 7 points are there. That means this is longer than 2-mark question, and the thickness of the points is also quite big. So this can be a 3-mark question. So I hope students, when this type of discussion is going on, you are marking in the material that is provided to you, so that while you sit to learn, today I'm going to learn all the 3-mark questions from chapter number 17. Right, so you know exactly what you have to read because you have marked 3 marks over there, written over there, so that instantly you start reading and you focus on only 3 marks. Yes, so that when you practice to write question answers, you know that this question I know perfectly, I don't have to revise by writing it. This question, there's lots of problem, I cannot memorize it completely, there are few points which I always miss, I got to focus on that. So out of chapter number 17, you know 3 or 4 questions are there of 3 marks which you are not able to attempt properly. So Next time you sit to revise, you're going to focus on that. So reduce your work and do some smart work rather than fumbling all over the material and trying to cover whole of the syllabus, 14 chapters together. Yes, 12 ghante baith ke. No, don't do that, right? Do smart work. Today I'm going to do 3 marks. Where are 3 marks? From which chapters 3 marks are going to be asked? Yes, sir ने इतना इतना समझाया था. So let us do that. 2 marks. कौन कौन से चैप्टर है? ये पॉइंट आता है. किला किसने बनाया था? ये. So that way, do some smart work rather than just spreading the books and materials all over, and then you get so much confused that you don't know what to do, what to read, and how to prepare, right? So this is a 3-mark question. Schemes and programs undertaken by the government to reduce unemployment. Now schemes are there. Now if schemes are there, then depending upon the length of the scheme, depending upon the explanation, detailed explanation, description of that scheme is done, you got to know whether this is a 2-mark, 3-mark, or 2 questions of 2 marks can be clubbed together because they are having 3 points. So 6 points together, but that will give you 2 marks, right? So government has set aspiring goal of 10% per year, economic growth of 10% per year for generating. It has decided to develop opportunities for fast and balanced economy development along with development of agriculture sector, small household industries, order, lots of things has been done, right? I think this is 1. Then we will have 2. This is quite a long answer. Yes, not only 3 marks, not only 4 marks, not only 5 marks. It's above 5 marks, right? Because it's quite a lengthy, and all the points covered. That is, points will also have sub points, right? So you got to prepare it in this way that schemes and programs undertaken by the government to reduce unemployment. If this question is answered, I will write this because there is a 3-mark question. So this many points I'm going to cover. Point number 1, point number 4, point number 5, 6. These points I will club together and produce it as a 3-mark answer. You got to be very clear which points and sub points you are going to write. So this is how it, because the question is too lengthy, yes, and we got to reduce our work to 3 marks. 1 is there, yes, what it has done, an explanation of that. Then 2 is there, right, explanation of that is there. 3 is there, explanation is there. Yes, wherever you find that there are lots of points, then I can take 2 or 3 points, right? Objectives, 4 is there, sub point is there. 4 itself is quite big enough. 5 is there, right, and lots of points are covered in that. So such a long question, even for 3 marks, yes, leave alone. The 7 point is there, then over. No, still going on. Quite a big answer it is. So we have to okay, this is what we were looking for. We should also be watching out for points that can be considered for raising objective questions from it. For example, the toll-free number for Model Career Center, that is again objective, right? 2015 dash employment exchange centers in a country. So 947, below 850, 970, 947, 960, some numbers will be given in MCQ, or simply you have to fill in the blanks, or you have to match the following, right? So 468.23 lakh employed registered in these centers in Gujarat. This is important. 8.30 lakh unemployed had registered their name. So wherever MCQs, you see some digits, you see some numbers, you see year, then those are very important as far as objectives are considered. Effects of unemployment. This is a very important question, right? Now, the question that we did before that, right? The schemes launch. It's quite a huge question, and separate 2 or 3 mark question can be uh, asked from it, right? So you prepare all the points in different ways. That point number one. What is point number one? Because the heading or the title itself will become the question, right? So in that way we prepare that long question, very long question. You break it up into parts. If that is, say 2 or 3 small points can be clubbed together, then it can become a 3 mark question. Otherwise, if it is quite long answer, then it can be 2 mark or 3 mark independent. The effects of unemployment. People see lose their moral and motivation. They lose their interest towards the studies and become negative. Social and mental conditions. How the people become poor. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 points. Brain drain happens. Yes, so this is a complete. You can see over here how many points. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So quite big points, because here the length of the question answers points is quite big. So this is a 3 mark question. Yes, plus also it is a give reason or a logical question, and then it will be of 2 marks. Next, labor market. This is a very important market, because labor market, then will come to world labor market, right? Availability of employment and labor in a season in the terms of the supply and demand is called labor market. Yes, in a season ownership, right? So availability of employment and labor in a particular season in terms of that supply and demand, that is called labor market. Now, world labor market. What is world labor market? You got to define it. When exchange of labor takes place at international level, that means among the nations of the world, then it's called a world labor market, right? So world labor market is an independent question. When labor users, they migrate from one country to another, this happens. Brain drain. What is brain drain? This is very important. Yes, in terms of asking you to write on your own also. So a little bit on your own can also be written, because this is a logical question. Is all the intelligent people, if they leave the country and go and settle down in some other country, then we will be having shortage. Whereas the other reason given by the government is that until they become of age, 18, 19, 20, they use the resources of this country, and when they are ready to contribute to the country, they go and contribute to some other country, right? So this is wrong. That is called brain drain. Skilled laborers move out of the country for gaining education, high technical studies, skill development, in search of more income, more facilities, better perks, jobs, etc. That's called a brain drain. Or it's called external migration, or it is called international migration. 3 names for the same thing: brain drain, external migration, or international migration. A developed country has superior infrastructure. We don't have it, but a developed country like America, France, Germany, Japan, UK, all these countries, their infrastructure is highly developed and there is a very high quality of life. This catches the attention of the people. So people in lieu of high social status and life, they migrate to such countries. So you should be able to explain them. People generally migrate only after they reach adulthood. This is a logical point. So the country whose resources such as education, health facilities, etc., they are used for many years, that gets wasted. Yes, a child is born over here, he and his parents use the resources available in India, whether that is food, accommodation, whatever, and they earn money and feed the child and bring up the child, give him better education, give him all the facilities available with the resources and money in India, and then they have used, and that goes wasted, because the child, when he grows up, becomes 20 years of age, now it is the time for him to contribute towards the country's economy and be helpful in development, research, etc. At that time he leaves the country and goes and settles somewhere else. The migrants Migrants who might be talented and intelligent migrate to other countries at a time where their home countries need them. They should get the advantage of their skills, intelligence, talent, everything. But they migrate and go away. So you should be able to prove your point, right? That why migration is, or brain drain is not helpful for the development of the country, and it is harmful. This is called brain drain. India is facing a major problem of brain drain, a major downside. This is a major downside of globalization. All this increased after globalization. The economic policies that came, the industrial policies that brought about a change in the country's economic policies, that is 1991. After that, globalization happened, liberalization happened, privatization happened, and brain drain can be considered as a child of, or a downside of, the globalization and liberalization. Now, effects of brain drain, right? Information technology, communication. Where are these people going? They are going because there is a huge demand in several sectors. What is that? Knowledge, skill sector like information technology, communication technology, pharmaceutical, biotechnology, space technology. Lots of new brain and new talent, new skill is required over there. Young talent, young blood, and young intelligence is required over there. So they lure the people having quite high intelligence and skill and all that, and the people are lured with the greed of going and settling in those countries, and the brain happens. Countries that are in need of these skills use several tactics. So what is a tactic? They use some quote, means is, what will you get over here? Say 10 lakh rupees per year. Yes, we will straight away give you half a crore per year, right? So he is lured by that greed. Yes, that here if I stay, I'll get just 10 lakh per month, per year, and if I go over there, I'll be getting half a crore, or perhaps 1 crore, and that goes in dollars. So you'll be getting so much of money. So people are lured with greed, and they leave their country and go and settle out. So we lose out our talented and intelligent people. Now, what is the positive? It is not that everything is negative. It has some positive aspect also. What is that positive aspect? That these people, they go over there, right? They, in order to survive the foreign competition, companies or industries have to send their employees to foreign countries for obtaining required qualification, knowledge, and skill. And when companies send Indians to other countries on project basis, the Indians earn their salary in foreign currencies and bring it back to India. So this solves the problem of foreign currency to certain extent. This is a positive aspect of the brain drain. So in this way, students, try to focus on the marks that are dedicated to that particular chapter. Plan out that chapter in such a way that objectives, if there are any, they remain separate. 2-mark question you need to mark separately, 3-mark question separately, 4 and above separately, right? And see that you work in a particular chapter according to the need of that chapter. कि 6 marks का weightage है, कहाँ है? 2 marks में है, 3 marks में है, कहाँ पे है? Objectives में है. Because there will be many chapters there, 4 objectives are there, and 1 question of 2 mark is there. So in that 2-mark questions, when we prepare, we automatically prepare the objectives. When we are preparing 3-mark question, we are automatically preparing objectives. But then still in the questions that we avoid, some objectives can be created from there also. So we have to look into a chapter very thoroughly, and we have to make a planning and go and follow that planning properly whenever we sit for revision. Thank you, students.